decades, countries have been engaged in what's known as the race to the bottom, courting big multinationals by offering a lower company tax rate than their rivals. The better offer gets the business and the tax revenue.
At the moment there are tax havens, they have zero rates. There are places like Ireland that have a pretty low rate, 12.5%, and then countries like Australia or the US who have much higher rates.
This has led to profit shifting, where companies like, for example, the big tech giants set up subsidiaries overseas in lower taxing countries. They can then book some revenue offshore, paying the lower tax rate, even though their customers are here. It's perfectly legal, but this is what a global tax deal is aiming to curtail in two ways.
Pillar 1 is about taxing the profits of the very largest super companies, if you like, with very big global revenue, and allocating a share of that profit for tax to countries which have consumers or where the data comes from. Pillar 2 is what is being called the minimum corporate tax level. It's a rule that would allow countries to capture some tax if there is profit in another jurisdiction, like a tax haven, that is not facing any tax.
A recent study found that by shifting $1 trillion in profits from where their economic activity takes place to tax havens, multinationals cost governments more than $200 billion in lost tax revenue.
Global minimum tax would end the race to the bottom in corporate taxation and ensure fairness for the middle class and working people in the US and around the world.
But will it? Poverty activists say a global minimum tax of 15%, which is what the G7 agreed to, will mostly benefit rich countries, not poor ones. And it may not mean a huge boost for the Australian budget anyway.
So my guess is Australia will benefit from a multilateral deal, but it wouldn't be a really massive win for the budget. There aren't rivers of gold in the big global companies. I know it doesn't look that way, but these companies, one reason why their revenue is so enormous and why they are so big is because they operate in every country in the world. So what we're talking about is a deal to allocate some taxing rights across all the countries of the world.